Do you want to state your name and your job title?
Dr. Shanna Peeples, and I am the Dr. John G. O'Brien Distinguished Chair of Education.
And where did you grow up?
Borger.
You Borger?
Mm-hmm.
And then what school did you go to?
Borger High School.
And then for university?
WT.
Oh, WT?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what motivates you to teach?
I believe that it is really the kind of a spin on Cornell West's justice is what love looks like in public. I think in many ways teaching is what a community's hope looks like in public, and so it's helpful for me to think about it that way, that I am contributing to the lives of my students, to the lives of my community, to the lives of my state, and that's why I teach. Yes.
And was this like the first thing you thought of, like, oh, I want to do this when you were growing up?
Oh no, not at all. I was in Future Teachers of America in high school, but that's only because we got to get out of school a lot.
Oh.
But I did not think that I would actually become a teacher. I actually started as a broadcast major at WT and thought I would do journalism. And I did do a little bit of journalism, and went to work at the Globe News and was a reporter there for 6 years. But it wasn't until I was in classrooms covering like students, because my beat was like Amarillo schools, and I thought I'd rather be working with kids than writing about kids.
That's cool.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I actually I used to joke and say I got into teaching for the money because it lets you know how underpaid journalism is here. I got a $10,000 raise to become a teacher, and we already know teachers don't make enough, so you can imagine, yeah, I really didn't make anything. So yeah, that's my joke, but it's really because that's where I belonged.
Outside of the classroom, what are your biggest hobbies?
My biggest hobbies are I love to cook. I am a great waster of time making the perfect playlists on various platforms. I love to watch movies and read.
And what do you like to cook?
Pretty much everything, but I like to do a sort of like mini Iron Chef challenge with myself, where I challenge myself to use whatever I have so I can keep from going to the grocery store till the last second. So I do my own little Iron Chef, which is like, make something out of what you've got. But as far as like what my family loves to eat, I mean, Thai food, Mexican food.
Is there a favorite dish you like to make where someone says...
Yes, green chili chicken enchiladas.
I like that. I like that. And did you learn how to cook on your own, or did someone...
My grandmother, she was huge in influencing me. She raised me mostly, and from the time I was teeny tiny, I had a job in the kitchen doing something. And so I really sort of apprenticed her forever, for years and years. And she's now passed, but there are a lot of her recipes that when I cook them, it helps me feel close to her.
Okay. And then you talked about the perfect playlist. What music do you like to listen to?
That's the issue. See, okay, so my first job, real professional job, and when I came over as a student to WT, I was a disc jockey at used to be Z93, and then for a country station. So I learned to like all kinds of music, And I create playlists kind of like a frustrated DJ just to match whatever the vibe is or the vibe that I want to create. So I'm really big on like duping the soundtracks of shows too that people like Mad Men. I have a Mad Men playlist that is inspired by that show. I have a playlist that's inspired by The Bear. I have a playlist that's inspired by Better Call Saul and all of these kinds of things. So it's just all kinds of music. I mean, my dream job, my secret dream job would be either be like a cartoon actress or to be like a soundtrack person, that picks the music for movies and TV. Man, that would be a dream job.
Do you share this playlist anywhere?
I do have some of them shared on Spotify. So yeah, you can find me really easily on Spotify.
And what movies do you like to watch?
I like, I don't like scary movies because I get scared too easily. I'm not that person. I really like, my family says that I ruin every gathering because I like the really depressing, serious films, and they don't. So if I watch those, I sort of have to watch those by myself, and go with what my family wants. But my family has I guess a tradition at Christmas. We sort of hate watch this really bad Hallmark Christmas movie, and we've watched it for years, and we just roast it like crazy. And you'd think we'd get tired of it after this many years, but no, it's a whole thing.
What was the last movie you watched?
Oh goodness, it was an old movie, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So yes, my partner always wants to watch Halloween movies starting in September. So yeah, this was our compromise. I was like, can we watch an old movie that's not as scary but sort of scary? So we picked Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
And then you like to read. What books do you like to read?
I'm a huge nonfiction reader, and so I love to read just about, it's kind of like music. I read all kinds of stuff. I have to make myself read fiction. I don't know why. And I enjoy it, but I think nonfiction just makes me, I love to learn. That's why I'm a teacher. So I feel like I'm learning something when I read nonfiction. And when I read books from other countries, it makes me feel like I've traveled there too. So I like to do that too.
What's your favorite book from another country?
That's like asking me my favorite kid. Let's see. One of my favorite books from another country. I would say that this is going to make me sound so pretentious. One of my very favorite books is Germinal, which is a book about France. It's actually fiction. Let me see if I can find a nonfiction book. There's one that was written about Russia, or written by a Russian author, called This Is Not Propaganda. I love that book. It's really good.
One more question about the playlist. Do you play this in when you're teaching?
Oh, I do, to start out. And when I taught high school, so I taught high school for a long time, in middle school, I would we would have people sign up and they would come and plug their phone into my speakers. I had really good speakers. And because they said, we don't want to hear any music anymore, it's boring. And so, but I will still trade off with people like that, even though now I teach doctoral students and I teach adults. I'm still really big on bringing music in, and when I do presentations, I use music a lot. Yeah, it's, again, frustrated soundtrack producer, I guess, whatever that job is called. There's really, I think that the only other thing I would say is I'm really, trying to really think about this region and the stories, because I was an English major and I was an English teacher for a long time. So I really think about this area and the stories that people have. And so anyone that might be interested in writing or thinking about writing something from the place that they're from, I would love to talk to them, because I'm also the director of the Route 66 writing project. Used to be New Jersey, but and that's one of the things we do is place-based writing and stories of place. Yeah, I kind of miss this time of year when I was teaching, because we would tell scary stories, and it didn't matter what age because I've taught everyone from 12 to 19, and we all liked telling scary stories at this time and writing scary stories and watching like remixes of how comedies are made into scary movies. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that on YouTube. And thinking about how close that comedy and horror is, and how it doesn't take much to switch them. So yeah, that's another thing that I sort of miss about working in high school, because it's much more serious what I do now.
Anything else you want to say to our viewers before we close out?
I will say my word of advice is I have found that videos of baby otters are a mental health support.
I'm going to have to give that one a shot.
Yeah, and that when you're, anybody that's feeling like stressed or sad, watch baby otter videos. It'll make you happier.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's